Welcome to the Project with Sam and Lewis, the podcast that looks at projects throughout pop culture and history. I'm Sam.
And I'm Lewis.
And on today's episode, we're talking about the Sonic the Hedgehog episode, The Doomsday Project.
We certainly are, from 1994.
That's it, yeah. A cartoon that I don't think I'd seen before.
I definitely hadn't, and I kind of realised going into this that I know nothing about Sonic lore.
No, so I know a little bit, and I've seen the previous film. Part of the reason we're doing this kind of time with the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 film.
Yes, we are.
Rather than do the silver screen project on it, we just thought we'll just do a little tie-in instead.
Yeah, we were kind of busy watching other things for silver screen projects. We've got a couple more coming up as well.
Yeah, we'll have one out. Well, I think they'll all be out. The Doctor Strange ones will be out by the time you listen to this.
Yes.
And
we'll announce what soon.
Yeah, got a jam-packed schedule, I think.
We really do.
Yeah.
I actually can't remember what's next, but it's something to look forward to.
I think I remember, but we've got time codes in the episode description, so if you want to skip past project news, don't know why you'd want to do that, but if you want to, you're very welcome to. Before that,
project news. I haven't figured out which one's my favourite yet, so I always forget which one's which, but I'm sure there's
somewhere.
Yeah. So anyway, the first bit of news is one you sent me earlier this week.
I didn't actually look at the news, so I can react accordingly, you know.
So, Diana Ross and Tame Impala album seemingly confirmed by posters in London. Phoebe Bridgers, St. Vincent, Thundercat, and more have been confirmed for the project.
Ooh.
So that's 5 people who are all very different, but I kind of like all of them. So
yeah, I'm just thinking a couple of those are announced at the moment for Glastonbury Festival in the UK. So it may be that some of the others will be announced as well, and maybe they'll. I mean, Tame Impala is always popping up at stuff, so I imagine they/he will be there.
So a collaborative album between Diana Ross and Tame Impala seemingly been completed and slated for 2022 already. That's kind of weird. Diana Ross and Tame Impala.
Yeah, an interesting mix though. Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, he does a lot of collaborations with kind of like R&B hip hop kind of acts.
Yeah,
so kind of makes sense in that sense.
And it's got several special guests. Among listed are Phoebe Bridgers.
Yep.
Who David is a big fan of.
David's a big fan of. I'm a big fan of as well.
St. Vincent, who I know a couple of songs.
Yeah, not a massive fan, but you know what I've heard.
Los Angeles is a good song.
Right, yeah.
Thundercat, who's great.
Yeah, made an appearance in Boba Fett, didn't he?
Certainly did. Brockhampton.
I thought I'm pretty sure they've broken up, so maybe it was recorded
It's
prior
produced
to that.
by Jack Antonoff, and his band Bleachers are also featuring.
Yeah. He did a lot of the, I think, co-songwriting and maybe production for some of Taylor Swift's new albums.
Oh, nice.
Bit of a kind of hit maker at the moment.
So yeah, I mean, we're both fans of Tame Impala,
yes,
I'd be looking forward to a Tame Impala album anyway, but this seems like something very different. So yeah,
that'll be cool. Yeah. So any news on timings for that at all?
I think it said this year.
Yeah,
they finished recording. It'll be some point this year. Nothing specific, but I'm sure we'll probably hear a couple of more people that feature on it. If it's mainly
Diana Ross and Tame Impala and then featured throughout, that's
it might be a case that like there's no like Kevin Parker vocals on there.
Yeah, maybe just kind of backing vocals from him.
And go down more of like a Gorillaz.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
But yeah, very exciting, and I'm sure we'll hear more about that.
Especially
maybe not project.
Well, if they announce it with project, but I think a lot of the times they'll say album once it's kind of it's set in stone. Won't they?
And the other one I got, which I picked it because the headline to me is quite confusing.
Okay.
So I want to ask you what you think this is about after the headline.
Okay.
Epic Games teaming with NASA on Metaverse project.
Okay. I mean, you kind of spaced it out nicely, so I can kind of figure out what it's from.
Yeah.
So the metaverse is the weird Facebook alternate reality, not alternate reality, whatever. It's kind of like a virtual world thing.
Yeah.
Kind of seems like Second Life or something like that, but I think you can go in VR as well. I don't really know. And Epic Games are big publisher, done Fortnite most kind of popularly recently. And what was the other bit?
Epic Games teaming up with NASA.
Oh, with NASA. So yeah, I guess they're going to do like a space thing in the metaverse.
Yeah, so essentially what they're doing is NASA is partnering with Epic Games to deliver a challenge to game developers. The challenge is to create virtual reality assets and experiences based on Mars that can help prepare for an eventual trip to the Red Planet.
Okay, I mean I guess that's kind of cool, but it seems more of a publicity thing than anything.
Yeah, it's also very like 2022 to get like a game company to create a VR thing for actual like NASA.
But also like if it's like a competition to make stuff, how the fuck are people supposed to know? Are they going to get given like the stats of Mars to make it realistic and stuff? Like,
unless it's like create like the basics and NASA will fill in the details later on. Because that Unreal Engine is quite
which everyone's I think it's maybe they're on 5 now.
It says 5 here.
Which is some of the stuff that was like the teasers for PS5 games. There was one that it actually had kind of rocky Mars like environments, but it was set in like a Grand Canyon thing. Anyway, it looked fantastic. They can do great lighting kind of detail stuff.
NASA have put the game, they've challenged people to put in 5 categories. They want a bit of each. The 5 categories are set up camp, which could be like a Martian type thing, the film The Martian. Scientific research.
Okay,
Maintenance. I bet that's a popular one. Exploration.
Yeah, that'd be popular.
And blow our minds.
Wow. Okay, so you have like a giant Martian monster come out and attack you.
Yeah, there's 4 prizes for each category and a total prize pool of $7,000.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean that could be quite interesting to see.
Yeah, time to learn how to work with Unreal 5, I think.
Yeah.
I'm sure spending hours on that now would definitely be worth a potential $7,000.
Yeah, it'll probably cost you more in equipment and time to earn that.
You have to buy a couple of graphics cards probably.
But yes, that is our project news for the week.
Yay.
So into Sonic the Hedgehog from 1993.
Yes.
Season 2, episode 13, the last episode of this particular series.
Which we figured out towards the end, didn't we?
The Doomsday Project.
Is it 93 or 94?
Oh, the series started in 93. This episode was 94.
Right, okay, cool.
And weirdly, there was another...
did you see? I've got
Sonic series going alongside called The Adventures of Sonic.
That. Yeah, and there's quite different kind of series from the seams of it. I can't actually find.
Yeah, and they were the first 2 Sonic series based on like the game.
Yeah.
It's weird they made 2 at once.
That's it. Yeah. So I don't know. Have you got anything particular about that there? Because I've got a little bit.
No, you go.
Hang on. I had it somewhere. While The Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog is known for this is the other version. So there was this one called Sonic the Hedgehog, and then there was The Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
Whilst Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog is known for its bright colors and whimsical humor, Sonic the Hedgehog featured darker stories, which constituted a departure from the tone of the Sonic games of the time. And they were both broadcast concurrently, so people called them Sonic SATAM and Adventures of Sonic, which is kind of pointless. But they also Archie Comics did some stories based on this series.
You do like Archie Comics,
which I do. Yeah, it only ran for 2 seasons as well.
Yeah, I think the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog was much longer lasting. I think they had like 5 or 6 seasons.
Because you were saying you weren't massively familiar with the kind of lore.
No,
from what I do know, this doesn't really seem to follow any of it. All the characters that we see are just made up for this. Yeah, and I've got all the character profiles here. If you want to go through them when we're going through,
I wasn't sure if I just didn't know them, but there is ones that I know of, like Knuckles.
Yeah, and Tails shows up right at the end of this.
Yeah,
but there's another fox. I'll go through some of the characters once we kind of start it off. So I don't know how much more you've got before.
So the story's by a guy called Len Jensen. Great name.
Right.
I couldn't get too much on, but I've got 3 of the cast members.
Right. Okay.
Which is Sonic was voiced by Jaleel White.
Yeah, he's done quite a lot of stuff.
People might know him from Family Matters, House. Mega Shark versus Crocosaurus.
Right.
Interestingly, he also voices Sonic in The Adventures of Sonic.
Oh,
so he was Sonic in both series.
Is he Steve Urkel?
He was in Steve Urkel.
I think no, but that's Family Matters, so I think he is Steve Urkel.
Is he?
Then. Yeah.
Oh, okay. No. Oh, yeah. No, you're right.
Because he's a little kid, so at this point he would have been quite not. I don't know if he's a kid. He's like a weird little guy.
Yeah. But yeah, it's weird that he was Sonic in both series at the same time.
Yeah.
I guess they wanted to make it like consistent, but then I'm still very confused why they did too. We've also got Princess Sally is played by Kath Suchi.
Yeah.
Who people will know as Lola Bunny in
I mean the design is like spot on as well, isn't it, for that?
She plays a ton of characters in Dexter's Lab, including Dexter's mum.
Okay, yeah.
Also plays Phil and Lil in the Rugrats.
Right, okay, yeah.
Basically she's done loads and loads of kids TV, like literally hundreds of credits for kids TV. So one of those that is a popular voice actor. And finally, Robotnik is voiced by Jim Cummings.
Oh, really? Because I kind of recognize the voice because he's very serious and he's kind of quite menacing in this compared to, I mean, recently people will have seen Jim Carrey playing Robotnik in the live action ones. He's very kind of wacky.
Jim Cummings was the only name I recognized. I couldn't exactly know where from, but it's Winnie the Pooh. He voices Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, right.
In basically all editions, including the Ewan McGregor film, Christopher Robin.
Really? Oh, cool. Yeah, I never ended up seeing that, but
it's very good actually. He's got loads of like small roles in big things.
Right. Okay.
Was also Scar's singing voice in The Lion King, and I personally like his character Hondo Ohnaka in the Clone Wars.
Oh, right.
Who popped up in Boba Fett.
Yes. Did he? Hondo, yeah.
Yeah.
Where was he in Boba Fett? I mean, where was he
the guy with the big hat who...
No, that's Cad Bane.
Oh, shit. No, yeah. People thought it was going to be Hondo, but it was Cad
like
Bane.
A kind of
my mistake.
Hondo's like a comic relief kind of smuggler character, isn't he? No, because he's in Rebels. That's what I've seen him in. Because I didn't get to him in Clone Wars.
Hondo is great. He's got like those 3 spikes coming out his cheeks and like a very like I don't know, like Thanos-y face, but like skinny,
kind of reptilian kind of looking. Yeah,
but I think I
kind of similar looking to Cad Bane in some ways. Like, kind of alien-y.
I think I saw some rumors of him being in Obi-Wan like a year ago.
That would make sense.
Which would be great because he always considered Obi-Wan to be his best friend.
Oh, really? Okay.
Even though he like consistently like kidnapped him and held him for ransom. So that is the main people of the cast.
Well, the show, from what I could pick up, it seems to be there's these kind of, they call themselves the Knot Hole Freedom Fighters because there's a place called the Knot Hole Village.
And it's like a worldwide organization though, the Freedom Fighters.
And it seems to be like I keep calling him Eggman because sometimes he's called Eggman, sometimes he's called Robotnik. And Eggman's when he's like goofy, I think, and Robotnik is like, anyway, but there's like a world of different talking like anthropomorphic animals in this, and in Sonic as well, but these are like different ones because there's loads of characters in Sonic that I guess hadn't been invented yet, maybe. There's this group. Anyway, the ones that I've got on here, I'll just go through them quickly because so we've got Sonic the Hedgehog, obviously. Don't need to go through much of him, but the quote on this Sonic.fandom wiki page is "got a juice." So
seems in character with the Sonic we saw.
Definitely takes steroids there.
Yeah.
We've got Sally, who is also called Princess Sally, who you mentioned, who is a princess of the Mobotropolis Kingdom.
And she's also a hedgehog, isn't she?
No, she is a chipmunk.
Oh.
But she looks pretty much the same as Sonic. She looks like Lola Bunny, like we said, like a kind of slightly sexualized,
anthropomorphic animal.
Yeah, I'm sure there was some both men and women who had their first crush with this character. I've never seen it before, so I can't say I'm one of them there. She apparently grew up with Sonic and blah blah blah. There is someone called Antoine Depardieu.
Yep,
the French fox, who apparently is a romantic rival. Comes from some sort of royalty. He's got kind of like a military jacket on.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's supposed to be.
He's not in this episode too much.
No, he's kind of like a bit goofy.
Yeah,
and yeah. Then we've got someone called Bunny Rabbot, who is a robot bunny.
Yes,
who just turns up randomly in this. She's got a robot arm, and we went like, okay.
Yeah.
She's a member. We've also got Rotor, who is a walrus who makes gadgets, seemingly.
Right, was he in this?
Yeah, he made like the bombs at the start.
Oh yeah.
That they didn't explain at all. He's a mechanic, apparently. And his quote on here is, "From now on, I'm happy to be a handyman." So very exciting stuff. We've also got Tails, who I'm not going to go too much into, but has two tails and it seems to be a fox, I think. We've got Dulcie, who is a giant dragon who showed up randomly.
Yes, looks like Dragonite in Pokemon.
Yes, yeah, or like a kind of Puff the Magic Dragon kind of thing. And yeah, those are the main group apparently. So those guys show up quite regularly.
Cool.
And then there was various characters that we'll get to as we move through.
Cool. So the IMDb rating, did you see for this episode?
I didn't actually. No.
Do you want to have a guess?
5.9.
Interesting. Because it's usually between 6 and 7.
I know, but I went low because I
went low.
I'm just using my own opinion.
8.3.
Wow.
It helps that it's a season finale.
Yeah,
series finale.
There was a lot of. I didn't realize it was going to be like the kind of thing where you have to watch the other episodes.
It does go in like straight.
And they're like, "Oh, we got those plans," and I'm like, "Did you? Okay."
It seems like it's been building up to this episode.
Yeah. Because they're like, everything's moving ahead of schedule. I'm like, okay.
But yeah, I thought it was fun, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's like straight away I was like, oh yeah, kids TV from the 90s.
Yeah.
So into the episode, it starts. We both watched it on YouTube conveniently enough.
Yeah, we did. So you can watch along with us.
Yeah, there'll be like a little commentary.
If you put it on mute and watch as we talk, you'll probably match up fairly accurately.
Oh.
We might spend a bit longer talking about it, but
yeah, and we'll be talking about like, I don't know, plants or something.
Lewis is just looking ahead at the plants.
But yeah, so we start with like a really fun intro song, which I quite enjoyed.
It is good. I don't know if it's something that's been used again, but I feel that like the lyrics are kind of familiar.
It's the fastest thing alive. But yeah, then we start the episode and there's like ominous music going on. And Dr. Robotnik is immediately introduced as like, I've created an object of beauty.
Yes.
And he's going to control the world. And he's basically built this massive doomsday device.
Yeah, it's some sort of machine that we kind of see bits of, but we don't really see. I don't know if we missed that.
And we see it looks like cannons shoot out.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're cannons. I think they're shooting out the pods.
Yeah, basically we see in a moment how it kind of works.
We're reminiscent to the things in Project Blue Earth SOS.
Yes, it did feel a little bit.
I can't remember what they were called. They had a weird name.
Helmet worms.
That's it. Well remembered. So yeah, then we cut to Sonic and the engineer guy.
Yeah,
and he's created these. They look like potions at first.
Yeah, so they kind of look like maybe it would be a smoke bomb in like a game. It's like kind of like a vial, like
but it's
a round
thing. Yeah.
Kind of taped up with like a green gas or something.
It almost looks like an old-fashioned like money bag, but like see-through.
Yeah, like a kind of pouchy thing. Yeah,
and it's got like this green gas in it.
Yeah, some sort of gas, and they're like, we're gonna test it out or something. And apparently, so we find out later that it eats metal, but they don't say that at first. He throws it against something and it just like disappears. Yeah,
it's like a bomb, but instead of exploding, it just makes things disappear.
Yeah, and they do say later, "Oh, use the metal-eating bombs." But it feels like they were like either lazy or they didn't want to like show stuff melting away.
Yeah, like, it's very kid-friendly.
Yeah, it felt like a kind of censored, like, we're very familiar, me and Lewis, with the animated Spider-Man 90s.
Which came up, was it last week or the week before as well?
The censorship in that is would have been prevalent in this as well.
Yeah,
So
it's
it kind
similar
of
era.
sense. Very similar, yeah.
Yeah, and then Sonic runs off using his classic, like, legs are like wheels kind of running style.
Gotta go fast.
Yeah, which, it's fun to see. He's gone to visit a friend of his. I can't remember which one of the characters it is.
This is the fox. He's like, oh, I'm going to go check to see what the lookouts have seen or whatever. Yeah. And then he's up in like a tree.
Yeah.
And Sonic scares him and he falls because he's asleep and he falls out of the tree and he thinks he's like dead, but Sonic's caught him. And
he's like run down the tree because he's super fast.
Yeah. And he's like, oh, is this an angel? He's got like a very stereotypical like French accent.
Yeah. And then there's a massive crack in the floor appears. And this kind of like UFO type thing that looked like the
helmet worm.
A helmet worm. It's very like classic UFO.
Yeah,
look.
It's like a weird kind of put together pod thing pops out and
they say it's a doomsday pod.
Yeah, and then it just like immediately like lasers all around it and all the plants just like disappear kind of thing.
Yeah, some stuff like blows up a bit and some stuff just like dies.
It's like they did a before and after of if it was destroyed. They didn't animate.
Yeah.
It's like the classic, which book is Scooby-Doo gonna move? And it's just like the one that's got
one
the outline.
that's animated. Yeah.
It's like that kind of thing. It's like a veil is like a layer is removed and then it's just destroyed.
Which is probably exactly how they did it.
Exactly what it is.
And then like they sound the alarm.
Yeah, so the fox guy rings the alarm, and then the walrus like comes out like from his house. It's like Sonic was with you like 5 seconds ago.
Yeah.
Like, why are you asleep?
And also, I feel like these explosions from the Doomsday Pod would be louder than ringing a bell.
Yeah, I think they were in like the meadow further away or something. But true. Yeah. We also, his workshop gets destroyed and he's like, my workshop's been destroyed.
And he's like, the report said these are coming next week.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's so weird. Maybe you should be doing something about if this doomsday is going to happen next week.
Well, I think that was why he made 25 of the bombs and I think they were going to make more.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I think this is all based off like intel they got in previous episodes.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
Sonic eventually throws one of these bombs.
Yeah, I wrote balloon bomb as well.
I wrote balloon, and it hits the pod and makes it disappear.
There's like a cloud, and then it's just like you literally see it like fade out of existence.
Yeah, and then we meet another one of Sonic's friends.
Yeah,
is that Princess Sally?
Yeah, I've just written sexy squirrel woman. So like this is
like
this is like the sexy girl they've done.
Classic Sam. He loves his sexy cartoons.
Yeah, why not? Like, and she's like, this thing can do hundreds of pods at once or something.
Yeah, she's putting like messages in like robot pigeons.
Yeah, she's got like an AI thing called like Laura or something.
Nicole.
Okay. It's just like a woman's name.
It's Nicole.
Okay, called Nicole. And she's like, tell us the plans, and then it like comes up with holograms, and it also like shows the future, and it's like things could be destroyed and stuff. And basically, like you're saying, it's a worldwide organization, but it's also a worldwide threat. And
Sonic,
if it gets started,
Sonic asks how many of these Doomsday pods can they launch, and they look at like the schematics of this Doomsday base, and say that Robotnik can launch hundreds of pods every hour.
Oh, every hour, right.
All over the planet, because he's got tunnels all over the planet. It's like, these are pretty like dire straits.
Yeah.
And he's got like 20 bombs.
Yeah, 25. Yeah, which I suppose 24 if he's used on now. And then we get introduced to some of the other freedom fighters.
Yes.
And suddenly there's just a bear and a rhino. And I was like, okay.
They're like the freedom fighters from around the world who've come, but there's not many of them.
No, there's like, I think they say Southern and Eastern or something, don't they?
Yeah.
And then we just meet loads of people. There's like a ram there and the dragon's there. And I'm like, what the fuck is this?
I presume we've met them before. We've had like episodes of Sonic going around the world.
Yeah. Although they introduced them to the bear and the rhino, so maybe he hasn't met them before.
Yeah.
But the dragon's definitely one of their friends. That was Dulcie or whatever.
And then there's loads of destruction around the world where these pods have been set off.
Yeah.
And it already it's a very like dark, it almost looks like a post-apocalyptic world already.
Yeah. They said about the kind of, it's not that bright and colourful. The characters themselves, the designs are mainly quite kiddie, but like the world is kind of washed out.
The landscape and the sky is just grey, and not just like dull, but like Like
almost like a Batman Gotham Sky.
Yeah, I kind of
like
thought of like the Matrix, like the real world in the Matrix when they kind of leave their base. It's just like burnt ash for as far. I was like, this boss already fucked up.
I guess Robotnik's been like the leader for a bit and he's fucked it up because they're the freedom fighters. So
but yeah, they say that like a straight assault won't work because the defenses. So we'll need to go with plan B.
Yeah, and I kind of, to be honest, I was eating dinner while I was eating food while I was watching this, and I kind of missed it. And then they were dropping teddy bears. Was it like a distraction or something? Because Robotnik's like, it's a dummy assault or something.
Yes, it's not really explained what plan B is, but then they're like, they're flying in on the dragon and they're like counting down from 15. And then like these hundreds of teddy bears parachute around the base.
They've also got some sort of flying thing as well, haven't they?
Yeah, there's
Sonic's
some of them
in something else.
Some of them are on a dragon, and then there's like a flying machine following.
But it seems quite big, though.
I guess they can't all fit on the dragon.
Maybe they stole like a ship in another episode or something.
Yeah. But yeah, Robotnik obviously realizes that these teddy bears aren't the real assault. And he's like, I'm not going to fall for your dummy diversion.
Well, we missed out this guy called, I thought he was called Sniffly, but he's called Snively. It's spelled like Snively.
Right, I didn't see it.
And he just looks like a weird...
He's one of my favorite characters in there.
Well, it's weird because at first he's like, hey, and I think that's what we're supposed to think throughout.
Yeah.
But then at one point he kind of talks back to it's this bit here.
Sonic throws a bomb at the base, at the wall, and the whole big hole in the wall appears and they go through. And then Robotnik and Snively have spotted them on their like CCTV. Right. And that's when we get Snively. He's just chatting shit to Robotnik. Yeah,
he's like looking the other way and he's like, what does he say? Like, you're a boil.
Yeah, he's like, oh, you don't know anything, you boil.
Robotnik's
like, what did you say?
His voice changes from like, yeah, to just like a normal, like evil guy. And then he turns around and's like, oh, I said that the oil is boiling or something. Yeah. And I was like, this is very strange. Because we saw him at the start and he comes across like just like an incompetent
He kind of reminds me, talking about Spider-Man the animated series.
Yeah.
Kingpin's number 2, who's a bit like, oh, I'm scared of Kingpin, but then also has
Alice the Smythe.
But then has his own plan.
Yeah. And we kind of get that towards the end of this, although it got cancelled, so we never actually saw where that goes.
Yes. Anyway, the freedom fighters have all been like captured.
Yeah, so they snuck in through the hole and then they split up.
They split up.
And then loads of them, there's like these guards on like bikes, like hover bike things.
Yeah, they're like are they robots?
I think Robotnik
would make sense.
But I think he can change people to robots because we get a hint at that later. And we have like their uncle was turned into a robot.
Yeah,
because in the opening credits, we watched it just before we started recording. We see like an old hedgehog that's not a robot, so I'm guessing he got changed into a robot. At some point.
That makes sense. And then there's like these glowing balls.
Yeah, they're like, what are those weird balls? They're not balls.
There's so many like innuendos in there. It's like,
and it's 2 as well.
Yeah, there's 2.
But they look just like floating robot heads that are like glowing red.
And they like chase Sonic.
And they keep like burning his butt.
Yeah. And Sally's like, oh, they can sense motion.
And they're like as fast as him.
Yeah. And then they like blow up.
And he's like, oh, I'll show them motion. And he runs really fast off into like the tunnel. And then it just blows up. And then he comes.
And he's like hurt.
And he's like glowing yellow. And then he's like, oh, I feel like I've been
Has
like
Sonic
a
got
bug.
like electrical powers?
I think sometimes he can do like a kind of frictiony thing. But generally, no.
So at times in this, he kind of does.
I think maybe he does in this. I mean, I was going to say the series that I remember is a later one, a couple of years after this, which is Sonic and a couple other hedgehogs, which I think they made up for it, different coloured ones.
Is it like the hedgehog that taught us to cross the road as kids?
Yeah, that one there. Stop, drop, and
stop, drop,
left, right, and no. And they've all got
look and listen.
They've all got like instruments, and they all play in like a band, but they like fight with their instruments, like
Right. With Sonic in this is very much like a cool surfer dude kind of personality.
He has a, what's the thing called, Laura? Nicole.
Nicole.
He has like a whole interaction with that later that's just like super 90s and cringe.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, he's exploded the balls.
Then we see some more freedom fighters get caught. And then Sonic sees like more of these Doomsday pods leaving.
Yeah, so there's like a claw that's making them, but it looks like a bird's claw, like a giant like animal claw that's picking them up, and like the cages of them, and then dipping them in like a thing, and then
like lava. And
I'm sure it's you'd imagine it would be explained.
I just kind of went along with it,
but it wasn't like a. It wasn't like a mechanical claw. It was like a giant bird's claw, like a Baba Yaga like foot thing. I was like, "What the fuck is going on in this?" It was very confusing.
But yeah, Sonic and Sally are trying to like radio the other freedom fighters and can't get a response.
Yeah, and Snively's watching them, isn't he?
Antoine says they've been captivated, and everyone's
everyone's just like,
yeah.
I thought it was gonna be a joke, like, "Oh, you dumb French fox."
Yeah, I was wondering where you were going with that sentence then, but yeah, no, that is PC.
Sniffly is watching them, and he's like making comments. He's like, we should do this, and Robotnik's like, no.
Yeah,
I think he says like, I want that hedgehog for myself, Robotnik.
Yeah,
and Snively's like, but you've never been able to capture him before, and he's like, what?
Because like Sonic tells the rest of the team to like go home, I'm gonna do this alone.
Oh right, yeah.
And they kind of protest, but they leave, and then Robotnik's like, I want Sonic.
Yeah.
And that's when Snively's like, you can't take him alone.
And then we also see the rabbit, whatever she was called, Dr. Robert or whatever. Bunny Rabbit. Robert.
Lola Bunny?
Bunny Robert. Bunny Robots. It was like a play on rabbit and robot at the same time.
Right.
Bunny Rabot. Yeah,
okay.
That's not good.
Yeah, Robotnik like flies through the skylight because Robotnik can fly.
Yeah, he's got like a cape and like robot.
He's got like things that shoot out his feet.
Jetpack things. Yeah.
And Sonic's friends leave, and Sonic takes Nicole,
Laura,
and she shows him like the main control rooms where he needs to get
like
to.
how to. And Sonic's like talking all like cool to the robot, and it's like, oh, my main hedgehog dude, but like in just like a normal robot woman voice.
Yeah,
it's very like
she's using those like slang, but she's also a robot.
Do you think maybe in the first few episodes she was like really uptight, and this is like her character progression? Now she's like cool with him.
She's Zeta.
Yeah. This is our preview of the last episode of Zeta.
But yeah, so Sonic makes it to the
like
control room
thing,
and there's like a dome over this main thing that's controlling the Doomsday thing.
And he's got some sort of bombs.
Yeah,
different bombs.
And he plants the doms all around. Bombs?
Doms.
And basically hides outside the room, sets them all off.
But he puts on like Cyclops visor glasses
he
blows them
but
up.
His eyes, because of Sonic's eyes,
Sonic's got like all of his head.
Yeah, they stick out above and below. But yeah, there's a big explosion. Lots of stuff's like burning.
Yeah, and then it is still in place.
The machine's fine, and then Robotnik turns up and he's like, nah!
Yeah, he like shoots out the floor or something, or out the sky.
And he says that the dome is diamond glass, so it can't be like broken.
And then there's something about gas or like hot air, and then he's like, we need some ventilation, and then Sonic gets like sucked into this.
Like a ventilation thing comes out the floor behind him and just sucks in.
I wrote Sonic gets sucked.
Sonic gets sucked. Yeah, and he's in like a
tube thing.
Yeah. And we find out the losers.
Well,
the freedom fighters.
He says like the winners get this and the losers get roboticized.
Yes, that's it. And then like a laser shooting Sonic.
Yeah.
And Robotnik says that this was designed just for Sonic as his like arch enemy.
Right.
But then Sonic pulls out his classic rings that he clearly collected from running around this
That's
place.
it. He must have not been bashed too much.
Yeah. And he basically puts 3 of them together and kind of blocks the laser. And then it starts like shooting electricity back at it.
Yeah, they're like, oh, you can't get out. And then he does by doing that.
The thing just like falls over and he's free. And Sniffly's like, Robotnik, you fool! You should have listened to me.
Yeah.
I
think I missed this because I just wrote Sonic escapes or something.
Yeah, no, then Sonic just runs out.
Okay. And then there's an old robot Sonic called Uncle Chuck.
Yes.
And Tails is there now as well, because when the French Fox turned up at the start, I was like, I guess Tails isn't in this. And then Tails is just in it at the end. I don't know why Tails wasn't in any of it before. And then there's this whole like story thing about they need to get the deep power stones.
Yes.
And I don't think that's part of Sonic normally, because there's things called Chaos Emeralds that are normally in it. So maybe that hadn't been introduced into the games yet. I don't know.
Yeah, so they've got one and Robotnik's got one.
Yes.
So Uncle Chuck's like, Sonic, you should steal Robotnik's one. That sounds easy.
And he's like, oh yeah, good idea.
Let's just steal like an Infinity Stone from the villain, no problem. And then he's in like
he just like, because he can get in really easily anyway.
He's so fast. He's in Robotnik's like office. And then Nicole opens the safe for him.
Yeah.
And there's just like paper in there. And then just like on his desk is a glowing rock.
Yeah, she's like, look behind you, Sonic. And it's just there. It's so silly.
It's like, why was he even looking in the safe?
And this is where we find out the bombs are metal-eating bombs, because he has to use them on something again here. And I think it's when he's with the lady person,
Sally.
Princess Sally or whatever she's called.
Yeah.
And they've both got a power stone each.
Yeah, and they said once they put it together, they haven't got long.
Yeah, so it's like 2 halves of one thing that's like broken in the middle.
Yeah.
And there's like smooth ends on either side. And then he uses the balloon to clear the way through the pods or whatever.
Yeah, one of the pods comes out and
every minute, is it? I think they say.
They throw one of the bombs at it.
And then there's like a romantic bit, but he like just kisses her hand. I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on.
So they're back with like the Doomsday machine.
Yes.
And they're like, we don't know how big this destruction will be.
They say it could destroy the whole planet. So they get Nicole to
do some like analysis.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, it's more power. It's 10,000 times the power of a power ring.
Yeah.
Like, okay. And then they say,
I have no idea what they're talking about.
Then they're like, what if instead of putting them the right way around, we put them back to back?
Yeah.
And they're like, that's a great idea. And I'm like, does that make sense to the writers?
Sure.
Should that make sense?
No, but sure.
Because there's like 2 curved sides and they just... Yeah. And then the robot bikes turn up again.
And Robotnik turns up.
And they put their smooth ends together.
Yeah.
And then they glow, and she's like, wow, is this what a power ring feels like?
And then Sal's like, let's do it. It was like, oh, okay.
They just start like smashing through everything.
Yeah, they're just running around the base.
I think they're holding hands, aren't they?
Yeah.
She says that later
and
on.
She's now as fast as Sonic because of the rock.
Yeah.
And they're just running around.
And then this bit's really weird because Robotnik's kind of like, is he escaping or is he getting destroyed?
So he's pissed.
Yeah, he's so annoyed. And he's like, I hate that hedgehog. And it's like flashing to his face, flashing to the destruction.
There's so much flashing. I was like, cartoons these days don't do this anymore.
Yeah.
Like, it's like that in The Simpsons, the banned episode of... Is it Pokemon?
Well, Well, they're taking the piss out of that. Yeah.
And they all have seizures.
It's like the kind of Transformers Voltron.
Oh, yes. But yeah, Robotnik leaves Sneevely behind.
Yes, yeah.
And Sneevely is like, oh, I hate you, Julian.
Yeah, I thought he said that. I didn't write it down.
Is Robotnik called Julian?
Actually, speaking...
Is that canon? Like, he's just Dr. Robotnik, so he could be, I guess... Was it introduced?
I'm trying to type it up. No, he's called Dr. Ivo Robotnik.
Okay, that makes more sense. But apparently,
in that he's called Julian Robotnik. Yeah,
nice.
I guess his name was. Also, I actually, when I was doing a bit of reading earlier, to get all this excellent research that I've got here, I found out his real name. If you want to know what Sonic's real name is, could you guess based on?
So me and Christina were watching this. And at one point, Sally calls him Sonic the Hedgehog.
She calls him Sonic Hedgehog, as if it's his surname.
Yeah, Christina was like, is his name Sonic Hedgehog?
Well,
I don't think so. Surely not.
Fairly recently, it was revealed that his name is Ogilvy Morris the Hedgehog.
Say again.
Ogilvy Morris.
Ogilvy Morris.
No, his first name is Ogilvy.
Ogilvy.
Ogilvy? Ogilvie.
Ogilvy.
Ogilvy Morris. And then the Hedgehog.
Ogilvy Morris. Okay. I prefer Sonic. Why is he called Sonic then?
I have no idea. Well, I'm just looking at a comics page here.
Right.
And this French fox is in it. So he was. Oh, I guess it's the Archie comics that is based on.
Right.
And he's laughing that his secret is that he's called Morris.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Just give him the surname Hedgehog. I remember when I was a child, I had this teddy that was like an iguanodon, like dinosaur.
Okay, yeah.
And I called it Iggy.
Right.
And its surname was Arnodon.
Oh, very
so
good, yeah.
Iggy Arnodon.
That's very
Iguanodon.
Yeah.
I was like a smart kid, clearly.
I mean, yeah.
It was more managed. I also had a teddy called Monkey and a teddy called Catty. So
Catty, yeah.
Yeah, you can probably figure out what they were.
A cat and a monkey in that order.
Yes. Anyway, there's loads of flashing going on, and it's really quite hard to figure out what's going on. I'm just like, I presume there's like destruction happening, but I don't know.
It feels kind of cheap as well.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Apparently, sometimes he's just called Morris Hedgehog. So,
right. Okay.
Yeah, anyway, I'll stop looking.
So a bunch of the henchmen escape.
Yes.
As like the place is collapsing, and Robotnik's like, I hate you, Morris.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't know, unfortunately.
No.
But yeah, it's doing all this flashing, and he's like, I hate you so much.
Yeah, and Sonic and Sally like land, and they're like glowing.
Yeah, like pink glowing.
And
or maybe they're not glowing pink yet.
I think they are glowing pink.
And then she's like, wow, a hand holding hands. I think she says a fist bump, but I think they were holding hands. She's like, oh, if holding hands felt like that, imagine what a kiss would feel like.
Yeah.
This is quite a horny cartoon, really.
It really is. Yeah, they're like, they're proper glowing. Robotnik's gone. The base has disappeared.
Yeah, they just like, they ran rings around it, but like they literally did, and just obliterated the base completely.
And then Sally said, what happens with kiss? And Sonic runs away.
Yeah, he's like, oh no. And then, but they do kiss though. First of all, everyone's like,
they're at like A New Hope ending, like everyone.
Does it cut to a new thing, right? Okay.
Yeah, everyone's kind of cheering and they're on a stage, and
this
they're
is
like,
when
no more Robotnik.
Yeah, this is when it dawns on me anyway that this is like the last episode. I was like, oh, okay. Right.
I knew going into it.
Oh, I didn't know. Helped. I was like, oh, they actually won.
Yeah, and Sonic's like, he's like, oh, I'm a little bit sad that Robotnik's gone because. Without a villain, what's a hero gonna do?
Yeah.
And then Sal's like, how about this? And they kiss. And he doesn't run away this time.
No.
They just glow.
They glow pink.
And I wonder what they did in the next scene.
Well, something about him not lasting very long. He's very fast.
He's very fast. But then as a last kind of scene.
Yeah, like almost like a pre-credits kind of
Sneevely has survived, and he's like really evil. And he's like,
and he's got like a cape on.
Yeah, and he's like, now it's my turn.
Yeah, and then he's like, and I'm not alone. And then there's some red eyes,
glowing red eyes.
Did you see anything about that?
I did. That's my trivia.
You got a trivia. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
because originally it was going to be one thing, and then it was changed to something else.
Yeah, so it's just the glowing red eyes, and then that's it. That's the end of the series.
That is
end of Sonic. End of Sonic. And also the end of Sonic the Hedgehog series.
I mean, do you think the season 3 with Sneevely as the leader would have been good?
Yeah, because I think Sneevely's great.
And then Robotnik probably would have come back at the end and like taken control or whatever. But yeah, he was kind of interesting. It was nice to see that kind of well, I guess what was the evolution of a character over 2 series.
Yeah.
Kind of all compacted into one. But...
so my bit of trivia.
Yes.
Is over the years there was rumors about the mysterious red eyes behind Sneevely in the elevator, belonging to Metal Sonic or Knuckles.
Yes, yeah.
Well-known Sonic characters.
Yeah.
But this was proved false after the show's writer Ben Hurst, we didn't mention at the start.
Okay.
Revealed it was Nalgus.
Yeah. So I looked into that. He was a sorcerer in a previous episode.
Yeah, apparently he makes like a small cameo.
Yeah. So maybe he is a character from it normally, but it seems that the director Ron Myrick added in the fact that it was like kind of changed it to be Nagus or whatever, and it was originally intended to be Knuckles.
Right.
So Ben Hurst did say at one point that season 3 was going to be with Knuckles.
It makes sense because like even I'm aware of who Knuckles is.
Yeah, exactly. And I think I was just trying to find out when Sonic kind of was created.
Because
I want to see how far, because I think he is super 90s, so I don't know if he was.
Yeah,
it might be very late 80s
or very early 90s possibly.
Yeah,
because this was like 93. If it was super popular straight away.
Yeah, 1991. Yeah, so that was the first game, and then it wouldn't have been too long after that. But it's difficult to. God, it's difficult, isn't it?
So, what did you think of that episode? I feel like you didn't enjoy it too much.
No, I thought. I mean, I can kind of appreciate where it was coming from, and I think compared to some of the other ones where we watched the last episode, which we haven't done very much recently. Sometimes it's like, oh, cool, like, what's going on. This, it felt like I didn't know what was going on, and I was kind of like, I felt like I was missing out a little bit. And not that I want to watch 26 episodes of this, but yeah, I mean, I can appreciate it. I thought it was all right. It was moving quite quickly.
I had good fun.
Did you?
I was aware that it was like a season finale and I'd missed loads of it. So I just kind of went along for the ride, and I was like, you know what? Sonic's fun in this. Robotnik's fun. Sneevely's fun. I'm here for a good time. And so is Princess Sally and Sonic.
Yeah. So by the time this had come out, Sonic the Hedgehog 3 was releasing that same year. So it was like a quick kind of succession of games.
Yeah.
But no, I can appreciate that. I didn't enjoy it as much as some of the other kind of cartoons we've watched.
I think I enjoyed it more than some of the cartoons we've watched.
I'm just thinking though, Zeta, Zeta, I think this is probably a better made program than Zeta.
It helps that it's like a main thing and not a spin-off.
Yeah, the animation and stuff was pretty cool. Like,
I also think this is better than Blue Earth. Project Blue Earth. SOS.
Project Blue Earth.
That's it.
I think I prefer Project Blue Earth SOS. But yeah, I liked the kind of weird mixed tone, and I liked how Robotnik just seemed like completely evil.
Yeah, I feel like that's like straight up Robotnik.
Yeah, like I like that. But yeah, I don't know, something about, maybe it's because I was kind of distracted while I was watching it. But yeah, I think it's pretty good.
It is very like mid-90s cartoon.
Yeah.
It's one of those that's like, unless you grew up with it, it's quite hard to kind of proper appreciate.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I know, to be fair, like as an episode itself, it was good. Like it was pretty well paced. and it kind of brought, you could see it was bringing together bits that would have been laid before. I think it was, if I'd had that kind of knowledge going in, if I'd realized it was the last episode, I probably would have been a bit more prepared for that.
Yeah,
because I imagined this was like a mid-season thing, even though Doomsday Project kind of implies kind of finality there, but yeah, like it caught me off guard a little bit, and I think I didn't really like the first half, and then the second half I was kind of like,
yeah, no, that's fair.
What
should
do you
we
reckon?
Do ratings then?
Let me just see if I got any. No, I didn't get any trivia. There was something about like, oh, at the very end of the credits theme, they normally had a bit of him winking, but instead they had the kiss in this one.
Yeah.
But yeah, ratings. Do you know what you're gonna give it?
I think so. Well, we need to go first.
Okay, I think I'm gonna give it 5 out of 10.
I knew you were gonna say 5. I just knew.
Yeah.
That's fair.
10 out of 10.
Yeah, 10 out of 10. No, based on what you were saying, that seemed like a fair rating.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10.
Wow. That's so high.
It's not that high.
I know, but considering like we've given like 2 8s in the whole thing, in like this is our 41st episode. Did you know that? We've been doing this podcast for so long.
Oh,
I mean, we haven't, but we've been doing so many fucking episodes.
To be honest, we're probably not far off a year from when we recorded our first episode.
Yeah, because we
released in August, but we recorded a few.
You know what? We may well have passed it actually.
Let me
I'm getting up the old chat there.
It's
probably not the best.
I was also gonna look in our chat and see.
I'm
gonna search.
I know how to find it as well.
Well, how are you searching it?
Oh well, that's for me to know and for you to.
But yeah, I'm quite happy with giving it a 7.
Yeah.
So,
open this.
I watched Dinosaur Project.
That's what I was looking for as well.
On the 1st of June.
Okay.
So yeah. Although
yeah, you watched it 1st of June, yeah.
Yeah. So it must have been around then.
There's a lot of us talking about Dinosaur Project. Yeah, who knows?
So I don't think we're quite up to like a year from when we first recorded.
But by the end of the month, we'll be getting towards it there. But yeah, did you have anything else to say about that before we move on to the next segment of the show?
I think that's that. It's kind of hard because it's like a one-off thing rather than a series. It's hard to like,
and we're used to now doing, as I said, like we're committed to our things now. You can tell we're both very distracted by this.
Yeah, I'm gonna put our phone down.
So yeah, are we moving on to the next segment of the show?
I guess it's time for
Personal Projects.
This time, it's personal projects.
Yes, get in.
Yeah.
Oh, personal project.
That's what Sonic and Sally will be saying.
Yes. Me and Christina over the weekend watched an entire season's worth of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Wow, okay, yeah.
I think on Saturday we were on like episode 15 of season 1.
Right, okay.
And we're now on like episode 16 of season 2.
Nice.
So we really did. We literally spent like all day Saturday just watching S.H.I.E.L.D.
That's a good use of
and then watched more on Sunday. And it's really good.
Yeah.
We've just got to the point where Sky has got her powers. And she's
nice.
all like, I don't know what to do. And Gemma Simmons is like a proper nasty person for a bit.
Oh,
really?
She's
like, we need to like put down all these super powered people, and it's like, whoa.
Yeah, why is it that is it because Trip got killed?
Because Trip got killed, and like they keep having super powered people go bad.
Have we had the bit where it's in like the cod liver oil tablets, or is that the end of this season?
That's later on. We've been introduced to her parents.
Right. Amazing. Especially I always forget what he's called.
Hyde.
Yeah.
Who's Carl McLachlan?
Carl McLachlan.
Yeah.
From David Lynch projects, varied
projects.
But
yeah, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is really good, and I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah, I would like to watch it. I've got so much stuff that I'm making my way through that I just can't really justify it at the moment. But
yeah,
if it like something shorter, like Amy's watching Parks and Rec, as you've seen, but she's not seen a lot of it before. So, and I've seen it, so I can kind of tune in and out. And it's when something like they're kind of 40-minute episodes. It's quite a commitment.
When we were at Christina's mum, her mum was watching it, and she was on like season 4, and we're both like, we should watch S.H.I.E.L.D.
I will go back.
Yeah,
to it
it's not too much. So you've seen it before, and I'll probably mention it. The other thing that's worth mentioning, is I went to the cinema like last week.
Oh, you did? Yeah, I haven't.
I didn't mention it on pod because there was 3 of us. But went to see the Northman, which we briefly kind of spoke about, but you haven't seen it.
I haven't seen yet. I might see it either weekday or weekend. So this week is another way of saying that. Yeah.
It is very, very good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Very Robert Eggers.
Yeah.
Very like tragic story, but like really kind of hooks you in. Cinematography is incredible.
Yeah. Wouldn't expect any less.
Yeah, the acting's great, and you really get like into the characters.
Bit of a bigger budget overall.
Yes, certainly. It is not making its money back at all.
No.
I think last time, so it's got a budget of like 70 to 90 million.
Which is still pretty cheap by today's standards.
Yeah, but for Robert Eggers.
The Lighthouse probably cost about 4 million. I don't know. It was like...
Exactly. And I think that's not how you spell Northman at all.
Lighthouse was 11 million.
So this is 90 million. The box office so far is 50 million. And it's been out like a few weeks now.
Yeah, I need to do my part and give it a bit of my meager.
I really did my part. I went to Comedia to see it. So paid the extra couple of dollary dues.
Yeah.
But yeah, Northman is very.
Should have gone to see it today. Odeon do half price tickets on Mondays.
Yeah, but you were busy recording the podcast.
Yes, because it's now. We'll go after.
But yeah, do let me know when you watch Northman, and we can properly have a spoilery discussion. I'll try and do it before.
Yeah, have you had a chance to watch The Witch yet?
No, I haven't.
If you watch that, just obviously let us know.
I love The Lighthouse. I love The Northman. I should really watch The Witch, even though I will shit my pants.
It's not that scary, really.
This is me.
Yeah, I suppose so. It's very, very low scale, kind of like The Lighthouse, So.
Right, yeah, cool. That's what I've been watching. How about yourself?
Watched this film that was on it was on Now TV, which is one of the streaming services.
Was it Forrest Gump?
No, it's called Kimi, Kimi.
Is it about Kimi Räikkönen, the Formula 1 driver?
It is. It's a Steven Soderbergh film that came out at some point this year. I don't know if it was released in cinemas in the UK, but it stars Zoe Kravitz, who we'll have seen in The Batman recently, Selena Kyle, and it's kind of like a Rear Window kind of genre. She's agoraphobic and she's trapped in her house, and she kind of, I wouldn't say witnesses a murder, but she's suspicious of something happening. And it's kind of her dealing with trying to investigate that, but also she can't leave her house kind of thing. And it's good. Like it's stylish. There's really good sound design. She's basically like, she's a kind of techie engineer, kind of software engineer, and there's some cool bits where she'll put on her noise cancelling headphones, and it kind of cancels out nicely, and they do interesting stuff with that, and she's really good. And it's a short film. It's about an hour and 20 minutes, which is one of the reasons I watched it.
Nice.
And it's also set either now or in a future that's just post-COVID, and they don't really mention it too much. It's just, it was something that
I do kind of like the film and TV industry. Is either gone down the route that they'll make stuff specifically about COVID, or they'll pretend it never happened.
Yeah, and this is kind of just like, she had something happen which made her really kind of sheltered, and she talks to a therapist at one point, and they're like, I thought you were getting better. And she was like, I was, but then like with the lockdowns, it kind of put me back a little bit. And it's just like, she wears a mask a couple of times. Like when she's trying to leave the house, she gets ready and she's got loads of
So this is a post-COVID.
It is a post-COVID film, but it's not like, it's not a main part of it. We'll speak about it a little bit. The Kimis are basically like, hey, Siri's Alexa things.
Right.
And she's like a software engineer. She has to analyze the voice recordings. And that's their like thing is rather than it being done by AI, they're analyzed to make them better by human people. And she hears something that's suspicious on one of them, and she tries to investigate it. Okay. And it's interesting. I wouldn't say it's a fantastic film, but it was enjoyable. It was like
it's the Northman.
Potentially not. No, I mean probably like a 3.5 out of 5. But like for an hour and 20 minutes, like a decent, well-paced film, I would somewhat recommend
3.5 out of 5. So you're saying it's as good as Sonic the Hedgehog, the Doomsday Project?
Yeah, I'm saying exactly that. If our scales intersect at that point, there, I'm quite a harsh critic on my Letterboxd account. If anyone,
one of those people who just like, The Godfather, 1 star. It's boring.
No, not quite that. But to be fair, I think I gave Spider-Man No Way Home 5 stars. So I feel like
out of
5.
Right. Yeah.
But I was excited. I came out of the cinema. I write them on and my bio says something about wildly inconsistent ratings. So whatever.
Yeah.
And the other thing that we maybe have a discussion about is you recently watched the finale of Moon Knight.
I did finally watch the finale of Moon Knight.
Yeah.
What did you think of? What do you think of it as a series and of the finale?
I think from where we started, like both we, as in my kind of going into it, and just the series itself, I think it kind of was wildly different by the end of it. I think it kind of changed halfway across to this kind of globe-trotting. I mean, they only went to one other country, but it's this kind of globe-trotting Indiana Jones-esque thing, and you get all the introduction of the gods. That it's not even like it's not hinted at. There's no ambiguity about it. It's very real, and I did really enjoy it overall. It wasn't what I was expecting, but I can totally see why they didn't go down the vigilante route, being so close to Batman coming out, and like they've already had Daredevil and stuff.
And it was kind of I don't want to say origin story because it wasn't an origin story, but kind of those kind of parts of like him becoming who he's really meant to be.
Yeah, the personalities all kind of working together. Well, both working together.
They're not all working together. I liked it overall season. I thought the ending was a little anticlimactic.
It kind of. Yeah, it could have done with a 7 episode, I reckon. To be honest.
It just kind of like there was parts of the finale like the gods fight, Amit and Khonshu fighting. Was quite cool.
It was kind of unclear if everyone could see them or not, because I know sometimes people couldn't see the gods unless they were avatars themselves.
Yeah.
Did you like? I quite like Layla becoming the god, the avatar,
the hippo.
Even though her outfit was a scarab outfit because her dad called her Little Scarab.
Yeah,
and she's the red scarab in the comics, I think. So,
but I quite I liked throughout that. So I can't remember if we talked about episode 5, but it was so sad with Steven. And
all of that episode, I think that was a standout.
I think that's where it kind of peaked. And then after that, it's like, right, well, now we need to finish off the series.
I think that I'd like to see more. I know I just said not vigilantism, but I'd like to see the character of Moon Knight do more stuff. And they really hit the nail on the head with all the 2 personalities and what made them different and everything. And I think that is why it stood out, really. But I would like to see...
Oscar Isaac is very, very good.
I'd like to see them move forward, because there's kind of... It was very open-ended in lots of ways.
Yeah, it did end with like kind of the implication that the story's not over.
Yeah, and they've been very... I think Oscar Isaac said he only signed on for 1, but the director or writer or whatever has been like, we would love to do another one or something else with it.
They left it to the final shot of the series to introduce Jake Lockley.
That
we'd been talking about for the whole
and
thing.
You'd had the hint with the 3rd sarcophagus and things like that. And they made him Hispanic as well, which is good because it plays into Oscar Isaac's background because he's speaking Spanish. They kept the flat cap, which is cool.
They made him a driver.
They made him a driver. So and Conchi's wearing the suit, which is a look that I really like, just like a white suit.
Joe, one bit I actually liked during the last fighting thing is Stephen and Mark switching between each other whilst fighting
and doing kind of different fighting styles,
and the suit switching. It'd be the whole cape and hood, and then it'd turn. It's just the suit. And I kind of like that. They have now got their own version of the suit.
Which is interesting. I talked about the. Did I talk about the Unmatched Moon Knight thing at some point?
I think so.
But in that, the gimmick, as it were, for the character is that after every turn you have to switch personalities, and they have different traits. So it's very much like that, where Mr. Knight has extra defense and Moon Knight can move further and that sort of thing. So it was cool to see that kind of thing in action there. It wasn't what I was expecting at all. But I can see, looking back now, what I wanted was kind of not very original, and I'm glad they went somewhere different with it. And whether this character shows up again in this or in something else, I think it's too complicated with Jake Lockley to put him in something else at this point.
Although it'd be quite fun to just have him in something else and not explain it,
and he just starts going psycho.
And quite often with the
in the team ups, he's just, everyone's like, who the fuck is this guy?
This guy? He's crazy.
Why is he so crazy?
Which will be fun.
Did you see that they were going to have the Eternals make a cameo at one point?
Really?
There was going to be one of the episodes was going to have a cold open with a previous iteration of Moon Knight, like an old avatar fighting against another god, and they get the Eternals to help them. Nice. So it was going to be like Kumail, whatever he's called, Kingo, and and like a couple of the smaller actors. It wouldn't have been Angelina Jolie or Richard Madden probably, but and they were like, no, it's too distracting. I'm like, thank God, because imagine if an episode opened with Eternals and you're just like, what the fuck is this? But generally, I'm sad to see it go. And we've got Ms. Marvel coming up soon, which I will watch, but I'm not particularly excited
before
about.
That, Obi-Wan, which I just checked.
Kenobi has got Kenobi in it as well, actually.
Yeah, May 27th.
Right, okay.
So we've got a couple of weeks.
So then we've got, when's Ms. Marvel then?
Because they generally switch between the two, don't they?
That's what I'm thinking. So Ms. Marvel will be mid. Thor will come out in the middle of that then.
Yeah, maybe that'll be an aspect to it.
Although I don't really imagine.
I saw, was it you that told me that it's 8th of June is Ms. Marvel?
Right, okay, yeah.
Was it you that was saying that
8th of June, so Obi-Wan's
well,
they will cross over then.
They probably will, yeah.
They will. Oh, weird.
Was it you that was telling me that the first episode of Miss Marvel?
No, it's the full series.
Oh, it's going to be in cinemas in Pakistan.
In Pakistan, yeah.
Which is cool.
Yeah, so I don't know if they'll just screen each episode
as it comes out,
or if it's maybe at the end of the run you can go.
That would be quite a fun experience to go to the cinema. It'd be expensive as fuck, but going to the cinema every week to watch a TV series.
Yeah, and apparently there's parts set in, I think it's Karachi in Pakistan as well. So there is quite a lot of representation. Yeah. I think lots of the writers are kind of Muslim or from that kind
Hopefully it's good.
Yeah, I mean I'm kind of I like the character from the few bits I've read, but the glowing purple Green Lantern stuff is not really doing it for me. But I'll wait.
I haven't really seen anything about it.
No,
aside from knowing who the character is. I watched
that very first kind of teaser that didn't really show anything.
Watch that.
It looks, they're doing kind of the John Watts Spider-Man kind of, jokey, down to earth kind of, almost like an 80s teen movie kind of vibe, which I like. I think that'll be cool.
Yeah.
And I think it will be quite different to the other Marvel shows we've got. So, all for it in that respect. Yeah. But just not as excited as I was for something like Moon Knight.
Yeah, well, we've got a couple of months until then, so I'm sure we'll talk about it in several episodes' time. Maybe when we talk about Zeta Project, will be time for Miss Marvel. We heard it here first.
That's right.
If that lines up, I won't remember, but I'll be very proud if you remind me.
I think that maybe the next Zeta episode might be quite some good stuff going on there from what I remember.
Oh yeah, every now and then you remind me of something that I'm always like, don't tell me, and I forget, and then you mention it again.
Oh well, we'll be doing them on the 9th. Every 10th episode on the 9, so it'll be a little while. Yeah. So in 8 weeks we'll see.
Yeah, so roughly early June.
Yeah, absolutely.
But aside from that, if you enjoyed what you just heard, hopefully you enjoyed this more than Sam enjoyed Sonic.
Just a bit, yeah.
In which case you can go ahead and give us 5 stars if you please. We'd very much appreciate it. It goes a long way. And if you want to tell us something directly, maybe you wrote Sonic the Hedgehog and you want to tell Sam what you think of him.
Yeah.
And you can give me a 7 out of 10, but you can message us directly, can't you, Sam?
Yeah, and you can tell us if Sally the Squirrel was your first cartoon crush. I'd love to hear if anyone had that experience. And you can, as Lewis said, reach us by sending us an email at theprojectpod@gmail.com, or all our socials are in the link tree in the episode description.
They are, always are.
They always are. So thanks so much for listening. Thanks for tuning into this. Thanks for tuning into the Silver Screen Project if you've done that. If not, go and give it a little listen now.
It's good.
It's good, yeah. We're about to record another one, aren't we, after this?
Yeah, but it's already out.
It's already out, so there's a bit of time warping going on.
Yeah, so if you've listened to them, the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness Silver Screen Project that you listened to a couple of days ago, we're about to record
it now. So
you're in the future. You've heard it before we have.
Literally, yeah.
Which is weird.
Whoa, now I'm scared.
Right,
well, thanks for listening. We'll see you very soon, and we'll catch you next time.
Goodbye. I will hear you next week.
Bye. Gotta go fast.
Let's do it.